everybody. It's Monday morning, my favorite day of the week. Good morning. Time for the Monday motivation message. I want to talk to you quickly about the fear factor in your life. Now, I'm going to do a full podcast on this tomorrow, but I just want to quickly give you a little teaser and something to think about throughout the day and for the week. And that is, how is fear playing a role in your life? You know, fear is the opposite of faith. So we always want to be in faith and not in fear. And I like to say that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. There's a lot of fear going on right now. There's a lot of fear being shopped out there, and you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But fear, while it's not something we want to operate in, it can be a motivating factor in our life. We can actually use it for good. And why is that? Well, sometimes fear will point us in a direction that we need to go. It's not that we want to stay in fear, embrace the fear, but sometimes fear is the motivating factor to say, hey, stop, pause, use wisdom in this situation. What should I do to deal with this fear? What should I do to act upon this so that I stay in faith? So we can react to fear, but we have to react with faith, and we have to react with action. It's not okay just to see fear coming at you or feeling fear and just say, well, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not in fear. I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist. And I am just going to, sort of put my head in the sand and fear go away. That's not a good way to react to fear. Whether that fear is there to motivate you, to keep you safe in some way, or whether that fear is there to stop you, there's always something to do in reaction to it. Never is it a good idea just to say, oh, I'm not going to be in fear, and that's the end of the sentence. No, you need a plan. You need something to do. If you have, let's take this current situation with this coronavirus. If you have fear of that, what are you going to do about it? If there's fear inside of you, then use that as a motivating factor. First of all, make sure you're not reacting to something that's not true, and find truth to the best of your ability, and then develop a plan of how am I going to approach this so that you are actually feeling like you're now in faith in reaction to the fear. So there's always something to do. There should always be a plan of action. If you have fear about your finances, don't just bury your head in the sand and say, I'm not in fear, I'm in faith, and everything's going to work out. No, navigate from the fear back to faith with a plan, with some sort of action plan, by doing something. And it's not just because that fear is actually, threatening to take you down. It's because that fear may be pointing to an issue that you need to solve. And you know what? It may just be totally made up. It may be that the fear has no basis in reality. And many times that's true. But a lot of times I think there's something underneath it, a limiting belief or something that it's pointing to that you can actually correct. So why don't we use fear to our best ability? Why don't we use it to make us better rather than just running from it or living in it, right? You can embrace it and then just be in fear, which is horrible. Or you can run from it and just bury your head in the sand, which solves nothing. Or you can look at it with the most analytic eye and say, what is truth about any of this? And if there is truth in some of it, what is my action plan out of faith in order to deal with this fear and therefore make myself a better person? I'm going to talk more about it on tomorrow's podcast. Comes out at 7 a.m. Eastern. And Mindset Reset 2020, I spent all weekend working on this. I'm so excited for all the things that we're doing and the people that are signing up and the breakthroughs they're going to get. I can't wait. I wish it were tomorrow, but it's not. It's March 28th, Saturday, March 28th, all day. Go to mindsetreset2020.com to sign up, because once it caps, it will close out and you'll have to wait for the next one. So don't forget to go do that. Think about the change you want in your life. How do you get there? If you haven't been able to close that gap and make that change, come to the reset and your life will change. We will take you out of fear into faith, but with a plan, because that's what it's all about. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you online.